It is a new website where you can make calls on anything you think will happen, like Arsenal signing a midfielder in January. It has a credibility system that gives those who are right some cred, and if you're wrong, you lose it. There's no money involved, so the only thing at stake is your reputation. Click the link in the description below to find out more.
Welcome to the 5 at 5, Arsenal's 7th game of the season and Arsenal's 6th win of the season. Let's get into it, but before you do, if you watch this or any of my videos and you haven't subscribed, do me a favour and hit that subscribe button. Number 1. Where else can I start? During the game between FC Zurich and Arsenal, we found out that the Queen had passed away, and subsequently the decision has been taken by the Football League and the Premier League that they are going to cancel every single one of the fixtures to be played this weekend. To me, this is a scandalous decision. Now, whether you agree with the monarchy or disagree with the monarchy, it's pretty much unanimously accepted that in the societal hierarchy where a monarchy exists, royalty sits here, everyone else sits there. Now, in terms of trying to pay tribute to the Queen who has just passed, I don't think it's a very sensible decision in her death to really remind people of that actually it's all about that one person and the hundreds and thousands of you that have booked tickets and hotels and travel arrangements and flights and that sort of thing. Actually, do you know what? You don't matter. It's all about this one individual person. I think more consideration should have been showed for the reality and the lives of the hundreds of thousands of people that are going to be seriously inconvenienced. There will be kids out there that are going to their first games on their birthdays. And you know what? I feel like it's not the best way of paying tribute to someone who you'd actually rather have the population feeling some warmth to right now. I think it's a stark reminder of that societal hierarchy and a really, really bad move. Very counterintuitive. Wouldn't it have been better, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below, wouldn't it have been better if all the games went ahead and actually each club could show their respect and pay tribute in a way that included all of the fans, all of the match-going fans that would have surely respected a minute's silence and, you know, whatever else, in whatever other ways club captains, club managers and the clubs and the players themselves would have wanted to pay tribute. I think that would have been a much more sensible way. It would have been significantly more considerate to all of the match-going fans, and I feel as though it's a really, really poor decision that have been taken by the football authorities. There's other sports such as rugby where they're continuing, and I feel as though that makes fans feel more respected, more considered, and they'll actually be feeling a lot more inclined to pay tribute whilst they're at these games in light of what has just happened. A very poor decision, but please let me know your comments below and how you feel about it. Number 2, Marquinhos. We have to talk about him because what a performance from him. I obviously spoke about it in my match review, which is pinned in the comment below if you haven't seen my match review yet. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about his performance, but clearly with 1 assist, 1 goal, 4 chances created, 2 of those big chances, he had a stormer. He was my man of the match. And now I think it begs the question. We all wanted Arsenal to add in the transfer window and we didn't. We all wanted that wide forward. We would have been buzzing if someone like Wilfried Zaha came in or Cody Gakpo or someone of that nature came in. But do we have a gem in waiting, and have we had that person since early in the transfer window all along? For me, it's a difficult one because I thought he looked really good, and also I watched an academy game against Man United earlier on in the season where I thought he was brilliant as well. But are we judging him too soon? And clearly, you know, it hasn't even been a few games. It's literally been 1 first team game and, you know, academy games. So I think I'm going to have to answer the question and say, yes, we are judging him too soon. But he was an exciting proposition, and he's certainly making me ask the question, is he Premier League ready? Let me know your comments in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts, whether you think that he is at that level where we can chuck him into a Premier League fixture and hope for him to actually make an impact in a Premier League game. I think we are judging him too soon and getting a bit too excited, but you know what? I'd love to see how he fares in the Premier League. Number 3, the Europa League tournament format has changed. Last year, what they did, and because Arsenal weren't in any European competitions last year, this might have actually been missed by a lot of fans that support Arsenal Football Club. But what happens is, after the Europa League group stage, 8 teams from the Champions League that finished third in their group drop down and they play teams that finished second in the Europa League groups. That has created a brand new stage of the Europa League format that fits in after the group stage and before the first leg of the round of 16 fixtures. The last thing Arsenal want is to be stuck with 2 extra games to play an unnecessary knockout phase. The only way of being sure to avoid that is by finishing first. It's absolutely crucial that Arsenal finish first, and that's why winning your first group game, especially away from home, was of massive importance. And luckily for us as well, the game between PSV and Bodo was a draw as well. So huge boost in terms of our start to our Europa League group stage. And also what's really important to be aware of, if you look at the fixture list, and I'm just looking at it now, when this knockout stage is going to be played is going to be the 16th and the 23rd of February. Both of these dates would come before away games in the Premier League. The first leg would be before Villa away and the second leg would be before Leicester away. The last thing you want is to have to play Thursday and Sunday and you're playing one of those 2 Europa League legs would obviously be away and you're following that up with 2 Premier League away games. Arsenal have to finish first. We cannot afford, with the size of our squad, to play any games that aren't strictly necessary. Number 4. And I want to speak about Arsenal's lack of a clinical touch. In this game against Zurich, we had 16 shots. In the last game against United, we had 16 shots. That's 32 shots in total over our last 2 games and only 3 goals. Now, in the game against Man United, of the 16 shots that we had, only 3 of them were on target. But of the 16, 9 of them were inside the box. We have to do better than that sort of conversion rate. Against Zurich, again, another 16 shots, this time 8 on target, but of the 16, 14 of these shots were inside the box. When you're having that many shots and that many shots inside the box, you need to convert them to more shots on target and you need to convert them to more goals. We seem to lack that ability that Liverpool and City have, that on your day, you absolutely batter a team. Arsenal don't often win and score a hatful of goals, and we need to develop more of a clinical and cutting edge in order to make sure that when we do have our day, because I know it won't go to plan all the time, but when we do have our day, we're scoring 4 and 5. But right now, it seems like we don't have that clinical touch, and it's something where, for as good as our start to the season has been, it's a massive area for improvement. Number 5, and let's talk about Matt Turner. What did you think of Matt Turner's performance in the game against FC Zurich? He didn't have a lot to do. I'm not going to criticise him for conceding a goal from the penalty because, you don't really expect goalkeepers to save penalties, to be honest with you. But I have to admit, he's that position, and the thought of him playing if Aaron Ramsdale gets injured for a long period of time, for me, presents Arsenal's biggest risk this season. I just am not convinced by his readiness to come in at the highest level and to play consistently well for a prolonged period of time. So what do you think about Matt Turner? What do you think about how he played? And how do you think he would fare if he had to come in and play 4, 5 or more games in the Premier League for Arsenal this season? Thank you very much for watching. Do check out the sponsor of this match day, Posit.com. Cool little idea where you can talk about the things that you think are going to happen, and if you get them right, you get credit. You get them wrong, you lose credit. Best of all, no money involved, so it's not gambling, which is really refreshing in the football space. Our next game is 6 days away. I'll see you then. Until next time, up the Arsenal.